Have another beer, buddy.
Chatty chat chat chat. I think that they probably said that being shorter is advantageous.
Well, they need to teach me then. There you go. So we had to poke a little fun at him. Call you Ginger Swag.
Yeah. If you weren't bowlers, what would you have liked to have done instead? Anything else. Literally anything else.
That's a great answer.
The horse is so dead that it's on some kid's school project on a landfill already.
And there you have
that one before.
No. We'll talk about that one.
Terrible idea. We got people winning the internet already. Excellent. No delay for soccer schedule.
Sweet. What's up, everybody?
Yeah.
We back.
What's going on?
And no, your eyes don't deceive you. We're sitting in different places.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to throw up the name there. And you probably have to flip-flop it.
Yeah.
A little bit of change around here. First show back since you no longer with Storm as well. So
yeah,
we can talk about a little bit of everything.
Congratulations, Caitlin, for winning the PWBA regional. Next time we need her to smile.
Yeah, she would look like she was really thrilled.
Facts.
She's like, yeah, I won. Yeah, damn it. Give us a second here to get some beers out. What are we going with to start?
So this is something that's just for the memes.
Oh, gosh. Is this bad?
Huh? Well, you're not going to enjoy it. I'll pour you something else as soon as.
Okay, thank you.
I'll give you a very small taste.
Okay.
This is delightful. Angel found this for me. The only place I've been able to find it is at Yard House.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited for this.
All right, you ready? Or you want me to wait?
No, go for it.
Oh, my. That is vinegar. Oh.
Stupid, silly, sour. This is from New Belgium. It's $9 a glass.
That is vinegar. Have you drank this before?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
I like
gosh.
this quite a bit.
Oh. What did you just do to me?
Pow, pow.
Let me see that. What did I seriously, what did I drink?
I like the little explanation it's on the other side.
Formerly used solely for the purpose of blending into their saison and silly sour. Stupid silly sour has extreme green apple sour notes and subtle hints of brown sugar and biscuit malt. No Belgian brewery has ever embraced America's love for pushing the boundaries more than, I'm not even going to pronounce, Procere de Silly. Most Belgian brewers, it doesn't say anything in here about vinegar, and I tell you, there's vinegar in that.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That's awful. You want to keep this? You want me to throw it?
No, you can check that.
Oh, it moved.
Where did she go with it?
It's not here now.
Hmm.
Oh, well. Thank you for giving me something else.
Oh, she put it over here.
Oh, okay. We're a little discombobulated. Don't mind us. This is the first time we've done it in a month.
Yeah. And
got a little PBA League action to go on with us tonight, too. So hate it that the cameras don't go high enough because you can't really see the action.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to see, but they're still in practice. Haas needs a juice box. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we might do some more camera adjusting here.
That's fine. Whatever you need to do. That's much better.
Yeah.
Much better.
You see, let me.
Hopefully everybody had a chance to watch the U.S. Open. We're a little late to talk about the players, but I mean, we can still discuss it a little bit, but we're moving a little bit.
Better.
Talk a little bit about the Players' Championship as well as the U.S. Open after a brutal U.S. Open week. I don't know if you all had a chance to what's the matter? Oh. Getting our lights. I don't know if you all had a chance to watch some of the qualifying as well as the TV show, but qualifying was absolutely brutal.
Yeah, you can scoot this. Well,
Okay, I can scoot over.
okay, yeah. We might have to move this.
That's fine.
I don't know.
Whatever we need to do.
We're fine.
As long as you guys can hear us okay, right?
Yeah. Testing. Jonathan is drinking frickin' Hazer beams.
Much better than that silly sour
Hell
crap
no.
I just drank.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. How do you drink that?
It's amazing.
What's it called to see Ryan Barnes do well? Oh, I'm sorry. You looks like you just deleted it. I didn't know exactly what you meant. But yes, Ryan Barnes putting on a show at the Players was pretty awesome. I was able to go down there for a little bit on Friday for a short time, but it was cool to see Barnes do well, yes. They were high scoring that week. That's for dang sure. Yo, are you putting it up the chat overlay here?
Yeah, there we go.
You can also talk a little bit about the urethane changes and how it really didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of these new urethane balls that come out are actually pretty darn good. That black pearl hammer urethane looks pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Haven't you thrown one?
Yeah.
So, welcome back. Have a beer on me, a 30-pack of Paps. There you go for $1.99. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I didn't even see you there, James, to be honest with you. I stood down. I was with Zach Wilkins the whole time, but I really did not. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. I stayed down towards the middle low end the whole time. We were only there for 45 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
To an hour. Because Raylan had gymnastics.
Thank you, Mr. Steve G.
About the price for a
Have a
30-pack.
beer on me or a 30-pack of abs. Yeah, this is actually pretty cool because when I've had this sign up in the past, the old webcam, for some reason, didn't see it clear. It really freaked it out.
Works.
Maybe we have enough light down here now, but that was just a giant blur and the camera kept trying to focus in and out. So, oh man.
More super chat. Thanks.
Another $5.
It was the first squad of match play.
Like 180 paps now.
180 Paps.
Yeah.
What a start for 2024. New background. Yep, we've got a new set. As you can see, we got the PBR sign. Chris Barnes behind me. Throwing a bowling ball over my freaking shoulder.
Yeah.
And upon further review, I'm going to need another drink, which is a great sign, by the way. So, and Luke is not on Storm staff. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have all been
Happy
catching
days.
some stuff on his channel, but he's got a lot of other stuff been going up on the B7 side too. So,
Yeah.
cool to see.
Which non-storm ball have you liked so far?
That's a good question.
It was over my right shoulder. This is it's a tin tacker for Odin's One IPA from my brother's brewing company.
If you're an IPA fan, it's fantastic. Just saying.
Yeah, that was one of their launch beers, and everybody liked it so much that they intended to have a couple kind of mainstays, but that was one of the early clear favorites. And of course, just starting out, he wasn't entirely sure. It's like, yeah, we're probably the first couple batches of some of this stuff we might have to phase out. But
You're going to choke on that stuff. You keep drinking it. I don't know how it's not making you cry. It's
No,
like
I need
bitter.
rip my tonsils out with my bare hands is what I need to do.
Did you answer what your favorite non-storm ball you've thrown yet?
Oh, now I keep getting distracted.
Sorry.
Probably the Theorem.
I threw mine over the weekend, and by the way, you did not lie. That thing corners.
Yeah.
Corners.
Probably the Theorem. I like the Black Widow 3.0, but it's it's deceivingly strong.
Yeah.
And so I tried to throw it in league, and it just kept hooking more and more. And my head knew that it was going to hook, and so I kept trying to deal with it, and I just have not quite adjusted yet.
Can we all agree, though, now that we talked a little bit about the other stuff, the Evoke is the coolest looking ball on the market today?
Yeah.
I don't care. Don't at me. It's cool.
Yep.
Oh, it's a long time. What have you put holes in lately? I just pulled holes in a Theorem, and it's the first ball I've drilled in, what do you think? It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
What did we drill? We drilled something for you before the kids got here.
A Theorem, and then I don't remember. I don't think we did. Oh, Richard with the $4.
You had some other stuff. You got a ball or two for Christmas, I thought.
No, I just got the Theorem for Christmas. That's the only one I got. I've got a 3.0 coming. The merge hybrid is pretty damn good looking.
I guess the last thing we drilled was probably that big time, and that's been a while.
That's it. That was the ball.
Yeah.
So I recently drilled a big time in a Theorem. So outside of that, I haven't put holes in a lot lately. haven't been able to make it over here either because Luke's had family and stuff in town. We hung out outside of here a little bit, but it's all good. We'll play catch up and put some holes and stuff now. Chris Bean said the exact opposite about the Evoque. Yeah, I know he did. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's dead wrong on that one. So purdy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Richard.
Yep.
Good. Hippo character smacks his hand on the face and looks around to see if anyone saw what he just saw.
Like beef stew, we're just here for the super chats.
That's right.
Yeah, the Emerge Hybrid's pretty nice looking too.
It is pretty.
Yeah, well, we literally got the set done like 5 minutes before we started. We were still hanging pictures and figuring stuff out. We just got all this painted yesterday, and then Angel wrapped Jonathan's stripper pole over here, and it's some random water line that was just going to be in the way. So
enough beers, I will dance on it.
Yeah.
No, I won't. I promise. But it is my new permanent fixture is the stripper pole over my shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I like the grayish blue. It really pops. All the signs, because all we had behind us before was the bottle opener and the storm sign. So
yeah,
and this can be switched out for something else too, right?
Yeah, we've got other posters, and if you lean towards me a little bit, it's actually signed
right there
over your shoulder there.
That shoulder right there.
Yeah.
I always got to remember it's the other way.
Yeah, they had a bunch of these big posters at Gage Center when we spent the day helping them clean out the upstairs or whatever.
At Gage Center?
Yeah.
I didn't realize they had an upstairs.
Yeah. Yeah, it used to be a freaking steakhouse up there.
How do you get up there?
You have to go through the office, and then there's a door that goes to the stairs and goes all the way up. And yeah, there's a bunch of offices and stuff up there.
How long ago was there a steakhouse up there?
30 years probably.
Really?
You can add Kurt and Tammy. I think Tammy might have actually worked there. So you might ask, because I remember she was telling me about it.
Interesting. I had no clue that there was even an upstairs there for one and for two.
That was like a club or something.
Oh.
But yeah, there's a pretty big space. So basically, from where the office is at, all the way to the high end, that's all upstairs.
So it's pretty big.
Yeah, it's pretty big. There's several little offices up there, and so they had us. When Jerry and Jesse bought it, they cleaned out a bunch of the old stuff, and so we got some of it. And these posters were some of it. So there's a Norm Duke poster, there's a Jason Couch poster, and a Parker Bone poster.
And they're all signed, aren't they?
Yeah, they're all signed, and they're all from like the 90s or something.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, it's Barnes and Brunswick days.
Yeah.
I can see that.
What's covering the outlet face plates? Small little panda faces.
Yep.
You can't see them, but panda faces.
Yep, they are cool looking. The sign does look really good up there. The PBR sign. It really pops right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was really glad that we're going to be able to leave it on. I thought, well, it's gonna look cool up there whether we can turn it on or not, but it looks really good since we can actually turn it on.
I like it a lot.
So,
what you want to dive into to start?
Oh boy. Well, let's see. Somebody mentioned something getting arrested.
Huh.
So,
what is
the new urethane balls working well on tour.
Yep.
Yeah, the IQ78. I think there's been some sentiments expressed that the urethane gap is larger. I think if it was the Black Hammer has been the one that the players have gravitated towards a little bit more.
Yeah.
The new still needs a little bit more friction. It's still a little cleanish and sharpish to be like that traditional urethane look. The Black Hammer, I think, was one that it looked really good for Packy. And the 78, I think the big thing that all the players have said is if you can keep it in front of you, it's great. But if you have to try to bend it a little bit or play with the angles, it's just not going to look good. And I think that's what he was referring to here. The 78U didn't look very good on the broadcast. And again, no one really bowled well, I thought. BJ Moore threw it pretty good. It looked really good for BJ. But still, I mean, he had to absolutely perfectly cure it.
Yeah. He pulled his butt off at qualifying. Old BJ did.
League show was a byproduct of everyone being tired after the week at the
Yeah,
that's not an unfair statement. That is probably extremely accurate.
They made something that looked like that probably wasn't that hard. They made it look a lot harder than what it was. I only got to watch a couple matches of it on Saturday because I had to take off and hit the road for Hayes, but that pair got a little rough.
Mm-hmm.
Old Stu missed the ball. The head been to the left.
I saw that, and then he
covered the spare.
And then he spared it. That's hilarious because you just never shoot that spare.
No, never. And if you do, you hardly ever make it.
Yeah. Yeah, an article I saw online said he was under investigation since last February, and I guess they found what they needed, and that was just somewhere they knew he would definitely be.
I mean, he even posted on social media where he was at.
Yeah, and see, this is the thing, because we had somebody in our Discord that had actually been down here several times.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Lights flickered.
Yeah, she was on autopilot.
We could have still sat here with these, right?
Huh? Yeah.
We'd have looked ridiculous.
We got the light in the background, so. Yeah, so that's the thing, is that the same thing happened with him, was that his house got raided and they found a bunch of stuff on his computer, but it took them like a year to finally charge him with something.
Yeah.
And so he'd been down here several times for coaching to bowl some tournaments with us and whatever else, and gave him a brand new hypercell fused, and so that's probably sitting in a box somewhere while he's in prison for the next 25 years.
Talking about Novak?
Ryan Ford.
Oh, it's like
Novak's probably going to be in prison if he survives.
They took old boy to jail in some SST6s.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, you're not going to change your shoes, so he's walking around.
He had to leave all of his bowling stuff and everything on the pair. They wouldn't let him get into his bags or nothing. So they scooped him right up. He went to jail in a Storm jersey and some SST6s.
Yeah.
Talk about arriving in style.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, and I'm not trying to be mean. It's just the fact that he didn't get to change his shoes.
I mean, if you get sent up for that,
Yeah.
You kind of deserve everything you get.
We don't know exactly the details of what happened. We can speculate. I mean, it's out there if you really want to find out what it is.
Yeah.
But, with his name on it, so that they'll definitely know what his name is out there.
Yeah.
But
things that YouTube would not like us talking about.
Well, that, and then the guy got arrested at the Grammys last night.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
After he won an award. It's like, what is going on?
See, Patrick Mahomes' dad got arrested for DUI
yesterday
too.
Yeah. So it's like, what is going on around here? But we won't speculate. Once again, you can see what's on there. We don't want to talk too much about it, but not good things.
Yeah.
Not good things.
So U.S. Open show. Then there was another thing where they rescheduled it, but they didn't reschedule it, and they didn't really explain what. Man. Yeah. It's just my freaking console. It just feels like I got something stuck right there, and it's just driving me insane.
Need some water?
No, it doesn't help. It just.
No.
I was sick for a couple days last week, and throat got a little sore, and now I just feel like I've got something stuck there, and so it just.
I get it. I didn't get to see the whole controversy because I was bowling, so I didn't know.
So basically, what they did is they said, okay, well, the U.S. Open is going to start. It was originally going to start at 4 Eastern.
Yeah.
And then they said, the start time, we moved it up to 3:30. Well, everybody gets on to watch at 3:30, and it's some World Cup.
Show.
Yeah. And it's going to be, there's some of the matches are going to be in the U.S., I guess.
Yeah, some are in Kansas City, actually.
This is for the World Cup 2026.
It's the next one.
So, 2.5 years from now. And so everybody's watching this, and they're just, 25 minutes, and it's just brutally awful. They're just dragging it out as long as they can.
Oh, they do. Oh, yeah.
And they announce this city, and then they talk about it for 5 or 10 minutes, and then they announce this city, and then they talk about it for 5 or 10 minutes. And Kevin Hart was on there, and I had no idea.
Is Rob Stone, was he the one doing it?
Yeah, Rob Stone was on there too a little bit, but it just, everybody was getting fried out. Well, I guess the thing is that the soccer show was supposed to end sometime between 3:30 and 4.
Yeah.
And so Fox said, okay, well, whenever this ends, we'll give bowling some early pregame coverage.
Oh, cool. All right. Yeah.
But they didn't communicate that. They just said the show was going to start at 3:30 now instead. And so you turn on this ridiculously stupid soccer show talking about the city selection, and it's like, are we missing the U.S. Open for this? And so it's just like, okay, 5, 10, 15, 20. I mean, it's almost 4:00, and they're still just dragging out this soccer crap absolutely as long as they can.
Yeah.
And people are starting to lose their minds. Well, again, nobody had said. Tom Clark put up something a couple hours before the show and said, "Hey, we're going to have a little, early pregame or whatever." But nobody said, "Well, the bowling is still going to start at 4. The bowling is always going to start at 4. We will just have pregame if the soccer show happens to end early." But nobody said that, and so that's what everybody was fried out about. They thought, okay, well, the show, PBA said the show is now starting at 3:30.
Yeah. And
then we're watching soccer crap up until 4:00. And I think the soccer stuff actually ran a little bit long even. So it's like 4:05 before people are watching bowling. And it was just terribly communicated.
And then they go straight into the show. No pregame stuff. I saw that Packy and them did something early from the set. They actually did a pregame show. Packy did on the channel, on the actual Fox set. But I didn't get to watch any of it, obviously. But
yeah.
I'm the weird one. I actually like soccer, so
yeah,
I do like soccer and I like bowling, and they'll give FIFA that kind of coverage all they want since it's the most popular sport in the world. But it's just cool. It's coming to the United States, and they are playing some World Cup games in Kansas City. So
yeah, earlier in the week. So yeah, the original starting time was 4:00.
Yeah,
and they just didn't communicate, and they didn't say, well, if the show before us gets over early, then we're going to have some commentary, or we're going to have like pregame show. They said, well, the U.S. Open show is now starting at 3:30. And that's all they said until some random post from Tom Clark at like noon or 1:00 or something.
I could see that frying people out. I would have been fried out. So like, what is going on here? I'm surprised that they didn't just flip it over to like FS1 or something temporarily, and then after that was over, flip it back over to Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of surprised they didn't do that, but. Unless they had basketball or something going on FS1, but college basketball on Sundays is rare.
Well, this is the thing. Like, everybody was fried out about the soccer show going on.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
But we weren't missing it. If you look at it, knowing the context, it's like, okay, well, it's 30 minutes of soccer city selection stuff, or 30 minutes of, just bowling talk. Pre-game, bowling talk. And so it's like, okay, well, obviously Fox is going to get they're going to get more viewers out of the soccer stuff than they're going to get out of the bowling stuff. But people thought that we were missing like actual bowling, and once it goes like 20-25 minutes in, it's kind of like, well, okay, we're going to miss the entire first match. And the first match was the best one out of all of them, because Bill O'Neill had the front six. And then he went 5-1, strike 5-1. And EJ went like strike open 4 or 5 bagger or something to kind of get back into it. And he ended up beating O'Neill the first, spoilers. Watching him chop the same spare. Yeah. All we missed was 30 more minutes of Randy rambling. So, yeah, we were probably done a solid by the soccer show running over. Didn't Bill O'Neill lead the same thing back-to-back frames and then chop the head off of it twice? Back-to-back on the same lane. Same lane. That's what same lane did. So he aced 6 shots. I mean, aced. 10 back, no questions. Off his hand, they were 10 back. And then, he got one wide and then was trying to make it and somehow just picked the head pin clean back. Because it was the 1, 2, 4, 6, 10. So we punched the 3 pin out, and somehow he just took the head pin out of that. Didn't he end up only losing by a couple? He lost by a couple sticks. But he went 5-1. So he went front 6, 5-1, strike, 5-1, and then strike flat 10. If he'd have gotten the 10, he would have won. But they've got this PBA league so hard to watch because you can't really see over everybody. Yeah, the greatest finals it never was. Well, and I don't know. It wasn't. Everybody kept, oh man, it was an amazing show. And I'm like, well, it really wasn't outside the first match. It wasn't that good of a show because EJ Yeah, EJ, I don't know. I didn't get to watch because I was in the middle of watching the Bowling Planet or whatever uploaded the show, and I was halfway through the Troop EJ match, and it got taken down, which...
It did?
Yeah. The video got moved. I'm sitting there watching it, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, this video can't be processed, and so I reloaded the page, and then it says, well, this video is now private.
Oh, I thought I was able to watch it. It's the one you sent me, right?
Yeah.
I thought I was able to watch it. I was able to watch some of it. I guess I didn't get that far. But
yeah. But anyway, I don't know how that match went, but then Kyle Troop won there. Spoilers. Sorry.
It was, I guess, a day ago. Never mind.
Yeah, and then Kyle Belmo shot 150.
Yeah.
He just had a wretched time. It's just one of those games that you can't believe is happening to you while you're in the middle of it. But yeah, that game wasn't close whatsoever. And then Simo went open the first 2 frames of the championship match, and Troop had the front 3. And so, everybody, oh man, it was a great show. And I'm like, no, it really wasn't. It was the first match was good. The rest of them were just.
The one thing I don't understand about the format of the U.S. Open when it comes to patterns is you pretty much end up bowling 90% of the tournament in match play on the 4th pattern.
Yeah.
Why do we even have the 3 other patterns? Why not just bowl the whole tournament on it?
Well, they had some stuff that some of the players expressed some things, and you can see this, and Wriggles wrote some articles about it where some of the players had some interviews, and so he took the excerpts. Simo on the longer pattern, he's like, well, it didn't really feel like bowling. I just kind of chucked the ball at the 3-pin. That's basically what all I did. I had to, they didn't really feel like they were executing bowling shots. They thought it's like, well, this pad, the only way to stay out of trouble on this pattern is to just launch it at the pocket.
That was the 49 flat.
Just beam it at the pocket. And Belmo kind of thought some of the same things too, because they're like, well, we've only got 2 players on a lane, and so the transition just doesn't ever happen. He's like, it's just a completely different thing. Of course, they used to have the complaints about everybody was lofting the gutter cap 4 games into it.
Yep.
So we used to have that problem. Now it's a completely different thing because there's no transition. But I think that they just need to start doing some different things with and there's no point in having, it's like, okay, like you said, well, they've even got a different pattern for the PTQ too.
Yeah.
So that's one pattern, and then 8 games on another pattern, 8 games on another pattern, 8 games on another pattern.
And then you bowl like 36 games on the pattern 4. That's what I don't get.
You bowl the 8 more games of qualifying on pattern 4, then you bowl the 24 games of the round robin on pattern 4, and then you bowl the finals on pattern 4.
Yeah.
And so it's like, this just doesn't make any
sense. Does, yeah. Pattern 4 is pretty much the pattern for the whole tournament. That's why I've never understood that. But I could even see it where if the leader going into the show got to pick the pattern.
Yeah.
That'd be cool too. But
I think that's happened before, once upon a time, not in the US Open, but it's happened before.
I could see a dual pattern.
Where I can't, well, I think it was one of the special like summer clashes or things we were doing after COVID.
I got to pick the pattern. Yeah.
So they got to, the high qualifier got to, I missed the convo about what happened with Novak. Yeah, kind of. It's not a very YouTube friendly thing to talk about.
It's there. You can find it if you need to.
He got arrested by U.S. Marshals, and it had something to do with
younger audience.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on maybe a dual pattern for like the U.S. Open?
They'd have to do it right. And this is the other thing is when do you start? When do you start it? Because if you have all the qualifying and then you make a cut, then you have a different pattern for match play and the rest of it. It's like, okay, well.
Or you just go 2 patterns the whole tournament.
So you qualify on something and then all of a sudden they change the pattern. Maybe the people that didn't qualify would have bowled better on the new pattern. Or all of a sudden, well, you qualified and did well. Now you have a completely different pattern to mess with, but that's the same kind of thing. I think that you do need multiple patterns. I mean, that's part of the challenge. But at the same time, the other thing that they brought up is like the first squad of the day, the lanes play completely different from the last squad of the day, because as the pattern gets laid down several more times, it changes.
Usually gets truer and truer, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The more and more I lay down.
Yeah, the more it gets laid down.
Yeah.
So yeah, typically it gets tighter.
Yeah.
Is what happens. So depending on where now everybody has, you have the early squad one day, the second squad the next day, and then the third squad. So you bowl early, middle, late.
Yep.
But some of the patterns play easier early in the day than they do later at night. And so that was the other thing is they said there's like 80 lanes at 70, 80 lanes at this place where they were at. And it's like, why can't we just have the entire field all bowl at the same time?
No, they had a practice pair. They had a chunk of it blocked off for the paddock. And then they were only using a small chunk of lanes for competition.
Yeah. Because they only had like 40 bowlers per squad. And they only had 2 people on a lane.
Maybe speed the day up. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you could have got away with not having a PTQ somehow. But
yeah, I don't know. It just how they're doing it is just kind of dumb. And then the patterns, and then there's no transition. And I think the patterns have gotten kind of stupid because for some reason they just like, okay, we're going to make it super flat and put down a bunch of oil, and that's the only challenge that there ever seems to be. Or we're going to make it super flat and short. And it's like, well, the players have gotten this figured out. They make little tweaks or whatever, but it's like, okay, well, this pattern is shaped like this, so we have to play it like this, and this pattern is shaped like this, so we have to play it like this.
Right.
And so even though there is a whole bunch of little nuances about the patterns, the players are so good that they figure out, okay, I just need to play this zone of the lane. I need to do this with this ball. And so a lot of the short patterns, they just throw urethane.
Right.
A lot of the longer patterns, they just throw dusty stuff and, launch it down and in. And so everybody's, we're putting down like 50 different patterns or whatever, but they're only presenting like 3 or 4 different like angles of attack to the players.
You want me to kill this or you want some?
No, you can get it.
Okay. Sorry. But yes, I think it's all over the place. It really is. It doesn't shock me. It's USB-C event. So it's cool to see those guys throw some of the old stuff again, like an idol going down the lane. It was cool.
Look at one of these.
Not like that ball's super old by any means, but
yeah. That was the other interesting thing is that a lot of the players were throwing older ball because it's not the same as the PVA rules, and so they were able to throw all the other urethane, the pitch blacks, purple hammers, whatever else. But they also didn't have within the last 2 years stuff. So Simo was actually throwing an idol on TV.
Yep.
On the left lane.
It was a gym on the other, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a gym. Yeah. No, it's an original.
I thought it was the gym. Yeah.
Yeah, original gym. That's something that my son-in-law brought me back from, and it's stiff, but it's actually very drinkable.
It can't be more than that crap you tried to feed me a little bit ago.
Hold my beer.
That may be worse than those non-alcoholics you told me.
Yeah, yeah. Those were horrific. This is actually really drinkable for how crazy it is.
We'll suck this one down. I'll try a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Angel, thank you for all comment on the set. Yeah, the set looks fantastic.
Yeah, Angel did most of the work on this. She did the patching of because we had holes all over the place.
Yeah.
From all the other stuff that was up there, and so she was down here spackling, and she spent most of the weekend down here plugging holes, and then a couple coats of paint and
strip of pole.
Yeah.
I was just down here Saturday morning, and it looked nothing like this. So
yeah, because we hadn't even really started on it Saturday morning.
Kind of telling me the designs. This is going to do this, and then you tell me about the signs or the bowling shots there, and I was like, that's pretty cool. So looks good.
Because the paint was still fresh last night, and so we had to wait to put all this stuff up.
Yeah.
So after we got home from work today, we put in a hard and fast hour before the show, getting it all, and we knew what was going to go up and what was kind of going to go where. So we already had that pretty well figured out.
And there's the vision. The Panda's outlet cover is a nice touch. As a nice touch.
It's too bad you can't really see them, but
I don't know. They might be able to see them a little bit. It's probably a little blurry coming from that side. But yeah, it looks cool. Looks pretty cool. Somebody said, speaking of idols, I saw a flyer for the Optimum idol, and it had 2024 catalog in the corner. Safe to assume that might become stateside based on that?
Yeah, and that's what everybody thought that he was throwing. But everybody forgot that the rule was different.
Yeah.
Was that, well, and so probably what he was now, somebody did confirm that Darren Tang was throwing the Optimum. But Simo was throwing the original.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah,
they saw it and automatically thought Optimum because of the 2-year rule, but that's only PBA. That didn't apply to the U.S. Open. So, yeah.
I mean, as soon as I saw Godona, you could tell it was an idol.
Yeah. But the Optimum looks just like it. It's the same color.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not realize
It's just a little more purpley than pink. But it's virtually the same. If you saw them both going down the lane, it'd be hard to tell the difference.
Do we have enough balls in the deal to play overseas or not?
Probably.
Okay. No, we don't have to do that right now. Just maybe some fill time in a bit.
Yeah.
We were just thinking about this, and I just made me think of that.
But yeah, this was something that was brought up. This is the one that, because somebody posted something in the bowling science forum and said that he bowled with he's got a teammate that had won some regionals and used to be on Team USA and whatever else, and was saying that, yeah, some of these U.S. Open patterns are so stupid that he could have taken a house ball and just chucked it straight at the head pin and been just fine. And everybody's, oh, it sounds like cocky, and maybe he should have laced up and gone out there. And it's like, well, no, that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about some of these patterns are just, at some certain point, they get so abstract or so inside their heads trying to make things challenging that at some certain point, when you have professionals averaging under 200 and like a block of plus 40 was a good block on a couple of those patterns, it's kind of like, well, at that point, you can just throw the ball. You can just chuck the ball at the head pin and pick up your spares.
Yeah,
and average over 200. There was a top 10. I think it was actually top 10 2020 before I made the full switch. And there was one pair. Actually, Trevor withdrew after bowling on this pair because there was one lane that was so slick that nobody could stand up.
It was slick or stick?
Slick. It was so slick that he actually went out of the gutter cap like 2 or 3 times on that lane. And it was so bad. Sorry,
I've seen him do that so many times. How he doesn't bust his ass, I have no idea.
It was so bad that game, it was our second game, and the first pair, the approaches were sticky because top 10's in August.
I think this is the one Angel was telling me about that was awful.
Yeah, it was just absolutely ridiculous. Well, on that particular lane, there was no sliding, no slowing down. I was still bowling right-handed, and so what I did.
Sliding, weren't you?
So I was bowling right-handed and I was sliding, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to stand up either. And so what I did is I moved up really close to the line and I kind of tiptoed up there and just end over ended it straight at the head pin. And I shot 230 that game.
I didn't realize that you didn't plant when you were right-handed. I guess I didn't pay attention. It's been so long now.
I used a 10 and a 7, a 10 sole and a 7 heel. I slid, but that game there was no standing up, and so you just had to, and so I just threw it. I just moved and aimed at the 1-2 pocket and just kind of gave it the old, shooting like I was shooting a washout or something.
Yeah.
And I shot 230 that game.
You ended up winning that tournament, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I thought that was the one you won.
Yeah, because I shot 230, and then once I got on the pairs that I could actually slide on, then it was like 240, 250 or whatever.
It's funny you say that, talking about approaches and shoot approaches, basically. I don't know how much you watched the U.S. Open this last week, but the approaches looked awful.
Yeah, I did well, and that's several of them because Kevin Williams almost fell down.
He did.
I saw EJ rip his jersey open.
Yes, EJ ripped his jersey open after the last game of qualifying day 2, I think. It might have been day 1.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a lot of people that fell. Lots of falls.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were sticky or they were slick, but it looked like guys that were over further left, maybe, which Kevin was also playing a little straighter, so he would have been left at the same time. It looked like that was the area that there was problems, but I don't know. I just kept seeing people stick and slip and see them checking the approach over and over again. It's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. But the the thing is, once patterns get so tough that just chucking, that it's basically breaking the game.
Yeah.
Because you're not, at that point, you're not executing bowling shots. And that's what that guy was talking about. And that's what Simo was talking about. It's like, well, it didn't really feel like bowling because you're just kind of launching the ball at the pocket and then taking your hits. Because if you try to actually bowl, you're going to shoot 180s, 170s, 180s. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, I can just launch the ball straight at the head pin, stay out of trouble, and pick up some spares and average 200.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We could do that in league. It's one of those things that most people don't think about. Most people will average, if you get onto it, like some of the stuff that we've had at the KC tournaments where it's just been, a survival fest. And, you're shooting 170s trying to bowl.
Yep.
But, Simo is one of those guys that I'm just not knock down pins. I don't really care how it has to happen.
Yeah.
But on some of those patterns, it's like, well, that's why the handicappers win, because they just kind of put it down the side, or they just they're not accurate enough for the condition to really matter. And so if you just were to chuck the ball straight at the head pin, you would probably do better. And that's kind of what they were saying was like, well, this is just so ridiculous that.
Yeah, I get it. Yep, I'm getting the KC stuff is super frustrating. I mean, not to mention the handicap too. It's when you get on the super tough patterns. All people with quite a bit of handicap do. All they have to do is make spares. So
yeah. Well, and if you average anything under 170, really, the pattern just doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
At that point, you're just not accurate enough. If you average less than 170 on it, and this is not slamming anybody, it's just kind of a fact of life. If you average under 170 on a house shot, you're just not accurate enough to take advantage of anything. So if you can't take advantage of the ease of a pattern, one being harder it's just not going to hurt you.
No,
because you're going to throw it all over the place, and you're still going to end up finding the head pin most of the time.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, your average might go down a little. You might be shooting 150s, 160s, but the 230s, 240s are going to be shooting 190s and 2.0s. And so you're just...
Not to mention that when you get the handicap and you're averaging 170, you shoot 150, 160, you're still shooting almost around 200, while the guys that are scratch have to shoot 200 to shoot 200. And and
it's
basically
not going to happen.
Grind their living butt off just to get there in some patterns. And that's why it's hard. And the handicapper sometimes when it comes to those patterns outweigh the field.
Yeah.
It's not a knock, though. Please don't take that the wrong way.
Belmo said that they were so tacky that his left leg was on fire after every squad, and especially after their last round of match play.
Ugh.
Yeah.
They looked brutal. They did.
Brian McDonough. Is this Brady McDonough? Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Brian McDonough. McDonough?
Yep.
Donnell.
What do you say here? Day one started super slick, then they were a little unpredictable.
Because, Brady actually did pretty good.
Yeah, didn't he? Did he make catches run?
I don't know. He bowled well. I can't remember if he made the top 36 or not.
For some reason, I thought he did, but he might not have. But he did bowl well. You're right.
He made an impact. Him and Landon Jordan, and then
Landon did make
brother Griffin Jordan actually throws it really good.
Landon actually made match play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I was really hoping to see Boog make the show there. I was really hoping so.
Yeah.
Brady's dad. Yeah, it is his dad.
Okay.
Thanks for hanging out with us, Brian.
Yeah.
Boog just missed the show. That'd have been cool.
Yeah.
He's bowling super good.
Zach Wilkins was really close there too.
He's been bowling really good. Zach has too.
And that's the thing is there was one of those KC tournaments patterns, one of the PWBA ones that was just nasty, and I was crossing with him. It's the one where he went like 240, 300, whatever, and he just, and he was just acing shot after shot after shot. And he's despite being two-handed or whatever, it just looks like he's really simplified everything and kind of narrowed it in. He's got that kind of Simo attitude now where I'm just going to line up and I'm going to throw it where I need to throw it to knock pins down. He's not trying to get creative. He's not trying to whatever else. He's just, I'm going to knock pins down. And it's really paying off for him. It's
because he came on the show. That's why the season started hot. Just saying, we got to have that. Come on the show if you want to bowl good.
Okay. So 50.
No, 50th. That's still.
That's right, because I remember
Yeah.
he posted something saying that he was in between two pretty good bowlers.
Oh, okay. That's still pretty
Yeah,
darn good
remember
bowling. I'm
that.
assuming, is that his first U.S. Open appearance, or has he bowled it before?
I would imagine.
If
but yeah,
so, that's
that was-
awesome. Kudos.
Mhm.
Good stuff. Always like to see the young kids coming up and doing well. Jackson changed his ball roll in the fall to create more forward roll. Big change. It looks super good. I mean, he's made two great appearances in majors now, back-to-back back-to-back, not shows, but
Yeah,
back-to-back showings.
Mhm.
And he's definitely getting them some points and bowling well. I'm curious to see what he does this week on something a little softer.
Yeah.
Because they're on 39 feet this week.
Yeah, because I guess they bowled the PTQ today, and
Albee.
Brad was the last one in.
Yeah, he
at
snuck that.
averaging 232.
He snuck that out. And that was on what they bowled on today. First one just turned eight. Is he say 18?
Yeah,
They've got that
they just
stupid
turned
heart,
16.
that heart thing.
So yeah,
16.
yeah, he just turned 16. So yeah,
Man, he's only going to get better. Congrats to him.
that has to be weird. We'll have to have him on the show.
What's that?
One of the Brady.
Yeah, we
We'll
can
have
have Brady
him
on the show. Yeah.
One of these times, because it has to be interesting. Because if I was out there, I will. And when I bowled the PTQ for the Open in 18 or 19, whenever it was down in Wichita,
Yeah.
you know, I was too busy rubbernecking and watching everybody else, and crossed with Daria and Matt Ogle, and you know, Daria's great. She gets a lot of flag, but she's very personable, and I think she needs to focus efforts elsewhere.
Other than bowling?
And whoever's
Is that what you're getting at?
well, no, it's just whoever's coaching her is just
Oh, I got you.
she needs to make changes.
Another awesome thing, though, too, about the youth bowlers, take Brady, for example, is the experience these kids get today, that what they can bowl compared to what I could bowl when I was younger. I mean, you started kind of a late bloomer, too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the junior gold's always been there, but now they've got the PBA junior. They've got, they can bowl PBA regionals. They can bowl national events. We couldn't do that back then. So
Yeah, we couldn't bowl any adult events. They didn't have smart stuff. And here
we did have smart. We did have smart, and that went on smart.
We did have smart, but we couldn't bowl adult events
Correct.
and have it go into smart now.
Correct.
And back then they had the Heart of Americas, but they were on house shots.
They were house shots.
The only real thing that we had, well, and it just getting, whether house shots or not, just getting experience bowling tournaments is helpful. But we had the GMJBTs,
which was one of my favorite tournaments.
That Toby Contreras ran, but it was like once a month. And so it's like, well, you know, they're there, but you're kind of hopping from GMJBT to GMJBT. And they had Sean Rash when he was a lot of the Wichita State bowlers used to bowl.
Yep.
And
they got a lot of college bowlers come down.
Sean Rash and Frankie was a little after my time. I bowled against Justin Crumley quite a bit.
Brent Bowers came down a lot.
Yeah, Brent Bowers. And he was the young, you know, when I was bowling them before I got out of youth, he was the 13, 14-year-old phenom coming up that was already competing at like 13.
I think Amanda's brother was bowling stuff like that back then.
Yeah. I used to go around with all of Brian Barr and Chelsea, and then Amanda and Randall, and
you probably bowled against me a long time ago. I bowled them all.
Yeah, possibly. I think it's just because I didn't start bowling again until I was 19, and then we didn't start bowling the GMJBTs until I had bowled for a year and a half or whatever. So I only bowled them for about a year and a half before I went.
Maybe you didn't, because I went up right when I turned 18. I mean, as soon as I turned 18, I was gone.
Yeah, so
because we didn't have the thing.
I might have seen you at a couple, but again, Amanda was 11 or 12 or something. Yeah. Because I'm 42. You're
35.
30. Okay. And 35. Amanda's a couple years younger than you are.
She's 33.
Okay. So yeah, that was because she was.
Yeah, I jumped up pretty quick. As soon as I got the chance, like I was saying, there was nothing to bowl other than Heart of America or Kansas City Open or GMJT. And two of the three were on house shots. And you wanted to get the experience. Because the big thing back then was, what can we bowl on patterns so we can prepare for junior gold? Because outside of junior gold was the thing to do.
And see, that's the kind of the sucky thing is that it's flip flop now because they didn't used to have as much stuff for the youth, and so they'd always go adult as fast as they could to get in, so you could get into the bigger tournaments and make money. Well, now the adult stuff is really falling off, but they've invested a bunch in the youth, and so the youth have the Storm Youth Championships, and they have all kinds of local tournaments, and so the youth scene has gotten huge. But now there's a disappointment unless you go into college and then onto the pro tour. There's just not.
I think a lot of it too. I could be wrong, but I think a lot of the interest in the youth bowlers now, getting them into bowling, is the two-handed game really made a big difference. I really do, because it's not cool. It's not sexy to throw one-handed anymore. It's cool to get out there and throw the two and turn the living crap out of it, throw as hard as you can, and it's really re-energized the game for the youth, I think. So
yeah,
I mean, Brady's two-handed, right? Isn't he a two-hander? Thought so. Yeah, he's the one that wears two gloves.
Yeah.
Landon Jordan. He's two-hander. I don't think Griffin is brother.
Griffin is not.
He's not.
And I thought it was really because Griffin's very small.
Yeah.
But I mean they're both really young, and so I figured this. I was like, wow. It's like, man. It's like, yeah, he's a kid, but he's kind of small. Bad. Yeah, it's very drinkable for how stiff it is. It's like 14% or somewhere, maybe 11%. 10.8. So yeah, it's surprisingly drinkable for how crazy it is.
The other big one that wasn't in the US, the other big one that wasn't in the Midwest that they had was JBTs. And every once in a while we'd go out to Vegas to bowl the main event, the JBT main event.
I remember the Christmas tournament that everybody'd always head to Vegas. Main event, yep. They'd always head to Vegas for Christmas. The main event was always so much fun to bowl, and that's when I first started bowling around Anthony Pepe. Anthony Pepe always bowled those. Yeah.
Well, what's Matt? What is his name that won the Throwing the Hustle Link?
O'Grady.
O'Grady bowled those back then, and oh my gosh, you want to see an amazing youth bowler?
Yeah.
Holy crap! He was the thing. But what is the kid's name? I can picture his name. Andrew Koff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we want to talk about the kid that had the most talent, but he quit bowling. He doesn't bowl anymore because he chose to go to school.
Yeah.
So.
Richie Allen's from Kansas City too.
Probably the greatest youth bowler to ever bowl in Kansas City.
Oh yeah, that's what Noel always said. It's like it's just unbelievable how good that guy was.
Gosh, he was stupid good. Stupid good. We've been lucky enough to have a few come out.
He's still Richie Allen. He's just Richie Allen.
He'll always be Richie.
He's not Dick. He's Richie.
Gosh, I said that. Good old Richie. Man, he was so good though.
But yeah, that's the problem is that now that they put all this effort into the youth scene and you get up into adults and then it just, unless you bowl higher level stuff, there's just the regular stuff is just not.
Yeah.
Now the UBA is pretty big on the East Coast, but James came from that, and it's kind of like, well, it's just kind of an ego fest, and it's something to bowl, and it helps a bunch with your mental game, but at the same time, the conditions are so easy that James lost a belt match or one of the title matches or whatever, and this guy had 15 boards and he hit every single one of them. I mean, he would chuck it to the ditch and scream off of the 3 board, or he'd just dead tug it into 14 and it'd sit there and frozen rope it.
That's the time you just pack up and go home.
Yeah, and they actually had a broadcast, and so I watched it and I'm like, how do you beat somebody that has the 3 board, has 3 to 14, and you can just kind of toss it out there anyway? It's a carry contest, and that's not real bowling either.
I mean, I like the format idea of it, but I can see where it'd be a pain.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely see it. There was time where I wish we had a version of it around here.
Yeah.
But it's just never taken off the ground.
Yeah. Well, they actually tried to get it started, but the franchise fee was so high because I actually had somebody reach out to me 4 or 5 years ago and say, hey, do you want to be like a franchise owner out here? Because I'm trying to start a chapter out here. It was in
Kansas City, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was trying to start a chapter out here, and I thought that would be really cool.
Yeah.
But it was so expensive, and he didn't realize how much work he was going to have to do. And it's kind of like, well, I thought you had this figured out or kind of ironed out or whatever. And he thought it was just, it's like, no, you have to have somebody that's the president of the chapter here, and you have to do this, and you have to do this, and you have to do this. And it's like, I thought we just signed up for something. I thought that this was like provided, or that you just science just said, hey, we have so many owners and here we're going to pay our fee and then you guys take care of everything. It's like, oh no, nope, that's not how it works. So it never happened.
Yeah, no, I'm good on that. Yeah. Yeah, I've never been around it. I mean, I've watched it because isn't it on Bull TV a lot now? Don't they do a lot of the UVA stuff, or they used to, or something?
Yeah, well, it used to be on Extra Frame or something. They had it on Extra Frame for a bit.
Yeah.
Now that it's just Bull TV, I don't think they have it as much.
Sorry, getting points there.
I never met someone with as many bad things to say about so many things. Me? I don't know.
Me?
James.
Hi, Max.
Maybe.
Never met someone. Don't judge him. Oh, what do we got here? So that was the first hour.
Mm-hmm.
First hour went by. We touched a little bit on the U.S. Open. Did we get through our agenda at least so far?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm going to look here. We talked about Novak, U.S. Open finals and recap. We didn't talk a ton about the finals. There wasn't really much to talk about. It was, like we said, it was kind of an underwhelming finals.
Yeah, it wasn't really a great show. It was kind of all but the semifinal and final matches were over in the first couple frames.
Yeah.
So
Kyle Troop was going to be hard to beat. So EJ had a chance to get him. Didn't EJ have to double, I think?
He had to double, and then he missed the head
or
pin.
something like that?
Yeah, he went. Well, he did that. He did. No, that was in the match against Bill.
Yeah.
Because he went. He could have shut him out, but he went strike 4 count.
That's what it was.
Strike 4-4, and then Bill left the 10 pin on his second. He got the first strike, and then he left the 10 pin on his second one. And then I was halfway through the next match and didn't see what happened. But Kyle was the only bowler on that telecast that didn't have a U.S. Open win. So he got his U.S. Open win, and he beat EJ, Belmo, Simo to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
so
dude deserved it.
I mean, Troop has been, and of course he had to give his dad shit because he said, I did something. I did yet another thing that Guppy never did. It was win a U.S. Open. Like he finished second to Mark Roth one time, but
did he ever win the Players? I don't know if the Players was going back then because the Players was a thing for a while and then it went away.
Yeah,
and then it came back as a major again. I don't know. He's won a major, hasn't he, Guppy?
I'm not sure. I think he had like 5 or 6 titles and maybe one major, maybe 1 or 2 majors.
Maybe he did have one, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of an underwhelming one. He deserved to win, so kudos to Kyle Troop on a first U.S. Open title.
And he's kind of turning into the new Prather because it used to be that Prather would win all the big stuff where there was big money on the line. If it was 100,000, 250,000, he'd win it. Now Kyle's winning all the big stuff.
Prather hasn't been hot. I mean, you don't heard much from him.
Yeah, he had some wrist issues for a little bit, and so I think he's still kind of working with getting the feel back. Because when he was on the league show the other day, he kept talking about getting off his hand fast or something.
Yeah.
So, and they have this is cool. We're watching the league matches right now. If you don't have Bull TV, they're doing some PBA league, and it's especially around the U.S. Open. It's a lot of bowling for a lot of them, and then even more bowling with the league matches because they had some on Saturday. They're having more now.
It's really hard to see them though.
Yeah.
That's why I wish they would raise those cameras up a little bit.
Yeah, this is kind of like a college style, which is really cool because I think that watching the college game is the most fun, most exciting it's just the most fun you're ever going to have. And for a lot of these guys, the older ones never had some of the older ones didn't have like the college experience, but a lot of the young ones are coming straight out of the college game. And so it's a chance to be back in that kind of an atmosphere again.
There's just so many different colleges now that have picked up bowling that back in the day,
college
bowling was there, but it was never what it is today. Mm-hmm. And it was a lot harder to get onto a school to go bowl than what it is today. And I remember the best way to get recruited back in the day was to bowl junior gold. I mean, there's college coaches out the yin yang at junior gold every year. But yeah, it's so many colleges. Like Institute Technology University's got a bowling program. That's not a real school. If it is, I'm sorry, I have no copyrights. I didn't know. I just made up a name. But they've all got bowling programs now. And
the South Harmon Institute of Technology.
That's the one. Yes. Oh, South. I love that movie, by the way.
Yeah.
They're shitheads.
yeah. The shit rag.
But they, it's so like, there's another school around here that just started. It's in Nebraska. That a lot of our local people are going. Is it Peru State? Small school that's now in Nebraska that's now picked up a bowling program.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they have a guys program too, but
I don't know because that's where some of the Seaman, because Bob Benoit's involved with that.
Yeah, I did know
and
that.
So there's some of the kids from Seaman that ended up going there. I think they do have a boys team because I think that's where Sean Phillips's youngest.
Thought he goes to Peru.
Yeah, not Dom.
Sean. No, not Sean.
Yeah, that's
Zach.
Okay. Yeah.
Zach. He bowls on our Tuesday. I know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, it's programs like that. It aren't big schools that have big programs, or not big programs, but have college bowling programs now that we didn't have back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot harder back in the day to get on into a school. So like even my state, Missouri, when I was coming out of youth, we didn't have high school bowling either at the time.
Yeah.
Kansas had it, but we didn't have it.
Yeah, they didn't have when I was, I was homeschooled, but they didn't have. Even if I would have been in a school, they didn't have high school bowling for several years after I got out of high school.
The silliest rule, though, that I think they have I don't know if other states that have high school bowling has this rule, but if you're in season and you're bowling high school bowling, you can't bowl anything else. Only practice. That is stupid. Why would you want these kids to continue bowling other things so they can get better?
I don't know.
If it doesn't interfere with.
They didn't even have, because Amanda went to Shawnee Heights.
Yeah, Shawnee Heights.
And they didn't even have high school bowling for her, did they? Or did they have it by
They had
time?
high school bowling. Okay. Oh, they might not have it that time.
I see. I don't know. And see, that's the thing is I think that she was kind of on the cutoff.
I think they did, and she chose not to so that she could bowl KCOs and stuff.
Okay.
I think that's the case.
And it was so new that it was just kind of a trailer park. When
it was just kind of thrown together. I don't even know if they had state championships.
Well, and see, that's the thing is they didn't, a lot of, they started some of these teams and a lot of them, kids would show up because I remember them having tryouts 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
And, half the people were showing up. They don't bowl, but I'll try out for the bowling team. I can't do anything else. I can definitely make the bowling team.
But I'm sure that they still have that case. I'm sure there's some high school bowling programs that are not good, but it's what it is. I'm missing some chat. I'll come back over this. They're starting. Yeah. I'm missing some chat here.
Solved my angular ball quandary. The theorem, which is really weird because Storm's been known as the skid flip company forever.
Yep.
But the theorem is one of the fastest balls I've ever thrown. There's just nothing that Storm has made for years that competes with the theorem.
It's ridiculous, yeah.
It is just very, very fast.
Oh, I thought, you told me it was fast, and then I threw it. I don't remember what time of the day I threw it. I think I threw it in practice or something. The ball just went dead. Whoop, and I'm like, whoa.
Okay. That's what Trevor was talking to me about because Brunswick sent me a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And Trevor said that was the biggest thing that he had to get adjusted to was all the stuff hooks more because he threw a lot of Storm stuff before.
Yeah.
And then he said, the stuff hooks more and it's earlier. Plus it just shapes a lot more than, something like the theorem. The 3.0 is pretty controllable. The Scorpion's pretty controllable. I haven't thrown the violent collision yet, but the theorem is just a virtual energy blackout on steroids. It is just absolutely insane.
And you've got an MV Tour now as well, right?
Yeah. And that ball's
strong,
super crazy strong. But yeah, the theorem is the fastest ball that I've thrown in years.
It's quick.
There's nothing. It's a very virtual energy blackout. It is a virtual energy blackout that's just stronger and faster.
Originally, when you and I were talking about it, didn't we say that it gives us? This is before we both thrown it. Didn't we say it gives us like X Factor vibes? No way. I think it's sharper.
Oh yeah. It's definitely sharper because the original X Factor was more Marvel Pearlish.
Yeah, I agree.
It was more stable, blendy, whatever else. The theorem it's the same, similar colors and similar kind of reaction shape, but it's so much faster.
Gosh, it sees friction. It just goes.
The kind of the theorem's definitely stronger than the original, because I had again the original Code Black when it came out. I think I put kind of a dumb layout on. I think I had a 4-inch pin on my first Code Black. But yeah, it's kind of in that category. Subjectively speaking, are there any must-have or must-try balls from any manufacturer right now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there's a good handful. I think the theorem is at the top of the list.
It's an eye opener. Envy Tour's got to be in there.
Yeah, the Envy Tour. There's some. Storm keeps putting out stuff that's just right on top of other stuff.
Summit would be a good look.
The Summit, I think, is one of them.
Yeah.
The Peak is going to be one where you either love it or hate it. I think the Sublime is on that list. I think the Sublime is give it a shot because it looks good it just looks dumb for everybody.
I'm trying to think of I think you pretty much hit it spot on. I don't know from each manufacturer.
The new blue is one of them that's very interesting.
Yeah,
Did Johnny throw that at all yesterday?
He threw quite a bit, actually.
Okay, because that's the thing is he's thrown it in League the last several weeks.
He threw it till the front's wet, and then he jumped into an IQ Tour.
Mm-hmm.
And he should have probably got out of that new blue and do an IQ Tour sooner, but
yeah,
it's all good. Yeah, I told you about the buzzsaw we ran into. Had to give 86 sticks. It's just they get instead of getting for the match the 2-game total pinball, instead of getting their 40 whatever it was, we had to give them per game the 40. So we were laying 86 going into a 2-game Baker match, and they just could not miss.
Yeah,
and we still only lost by 15. So,
let's see here.
And I'm sure you saw that Trevor and Dylan did win that tournament.
No, I didn't.
Yes, they did.
That's not surprising.
Well,
Trevor a few balls.
They barely made the cut.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they were on house money, and they bought themselves in the Calcutta. They only went for 160.
So yeah, they were. Yeah, I had Trevor I drilled Trevor a 3.0 Scorpion low flare and an Emerge hybrid. The Emerge is one that I wish that they would have sent me, but they sent me 2 cases worth of stuff, so I can't really. I'm not going to complain about what they didn't send me.
And that ball's pretty. It really is pretty.
Yeah. All right, we've got. So what we had before was something. Okay, the Embalmer. This is English barley wine. That is 11%, and it just does not taste or feel like that. It's a stronger, heavier flavor, but it's good and it doesn't hurt that much either. It's just a bigger flavor drink. Now we're on to New Belgium Cryo Ranger IPA.
Still one of the coolest breweries ever. Oh, what was this? I had to prep for that after. I should have been warned about that.
Yeah.
Because after going from that to that, and that tastes funky.
As a former staffer, do you feel your tourney bag and league bag will become more stable since you don't have to show the latest and greatest, especially with your new reviewers on YouTube? Yes and no. I'm introducing some new stuff into the bag, and I think that Brunswick is going to continue to send me stuff. My first couple reviews that I have done for stuff have done well. And so they sent me a batch to begin with, and they sent me a few other things. I've got they sent me all the urethanes. So I'm actually working on a video right now for those. They even sent a couple extra for James. So I've got a James Black Widow 3.0 and Scorpion Low Flare video coming. I've got a Theorem video coming. I haven't thrown the Violent Collision yet, but I've got a video for that coming. And so I've had a couple rough league sets the last couple times out trying to mix some other stuff in. But the Summit and the Summit Peak are going to stay in the bag regardless. I mean, just nobody's going to pry that. The Summit is just going to stay in the bag indefinitely. There's no reason. and I've got extra ones too. That ball is just not ever coming out of the bag for any reason. And I think it's going to eventually overtake the ProMotion as like my number one ball all time. There's just no way that ball's coming out of the bag. I am going to introduce some of the new stuff. But there's definitely an adjustment because the Brunswick stuff does act different. It all seems to be stronger and it all seems to be more responsive. So, which is, again, weird.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of ball reaction. There's more ball reaction out of the Brunswick stuff than there is out of the Storm stuff, and I need to make the adjustment to that. But that's kind of what I do on our Friday night league.
Yeah,
I take stuff and I'll throw one ball one game and one ball one game and whatever else. I just need to get out and practice a little bit more.
Yeah, I said that a lot too.
But yeah, so I had thought that's the thing is that I didn't solicit any of this. I thought that, I'm going to get off staff with Storm. They're going to stop sending me stuff, which they did, in which, I declined the offer. So why would they keep sending me stuff? And I told them up front, I'm like, well, I'm going to be making videos. I told Brett Cooper, I'm like, well, I'm going to be making videos for Zach and Tobias. And so it just really wouldn't make any sense for them to send me a bunch of stuff too.
Yeah.
So I think that deal is actually going to, because it saves them several $1,000s a year on sending stuff to me. I'm still making videos. Plus I'm getting more exposure to Zach and Tobias, who were making videos on their own, but they just didn't have the YouTube, the presence. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, well, this is just best of both. I mean, this is the best of all worlds for everybody concerned. But Brunswick, Brunsnick and I have been talking for several years because Brunsnick was one of the first. Nick Smith was one of the first YouTube.
Yeah, he's an OG.
Yeah, he was one of the first ball review guys out there. Period. And so we've been talking for several years, and he had told me a couple of years ago, he's like, if you ever leave, then it'd be fun to do some stuff. And so as soon as I was off staff, then they reached out and said, hey, let's we'll send you some stuff, and they sent me some stuff, and the videos have done great. Thanks everybody for watching them, and so I think they're going to keep sending me more stuff. And so it was one of those. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to drill a whole lot of stuff now, and I think I might actually end up drilling more stuff than I was drilling before. But I do like having the options and the new stuff, and I do like the Brunswick stuff. But again, there are some it's just not, and I actually like the peak quite a bit too. So those balls aren't coming out, but there are some balls going into those other spots.
You're in a good spot right now too, though, because like we were just talking about, that Storm's got some stuff that's good that you like, but like you said, Brunswick's got some stuff out right now, all brand wise. That's just absolute bangers.
Yeah.
The problem is they're just so big that they're going to get pulled quicker than they should be.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate, because everything I've thrown so far, I like how the covers read the lane.
Yeah.
They're not so. They're a little. I think part of it's just the covers are stronger.
Right.
And so they're just more, they're not as sensitive to the oil. They read better in the oil, and then they are more consistent just generally, but they consistently hook.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Even the Radical Breakaway looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And I've never been a big Radical guy because they do have a little bit, in my opinion, I think they have a little bit different, unique reaction. Last one I threw was Conspiracy Theory.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the purple. Yeah, it was purple one.
Yeah,
I didn't mind that ball a lot. I just never really threw it a ton. I think I threw it on a little bit on Friday nights when we bowled with you guys in that league.
Yeah,
didn't look bad at Westridge, but I didn't throw it a ton on outside of there. I always felt like down lane it just kind of puked on me. So I thought it was going to be a little more angular when I drilled it, and it definitely wasn't completely that. But I mean, it hooked. Don't get me wrong.
James addressed this a couple comments later, but the MV Tour is crazy.
It's big.
I think the thing is it's a lot stronger than people, because they see Tour and they think it's going to be like a medium strength. They think, oh, okay, so it's like a mild ASIM, like IQ Tour, and I'm like, oh no, it is it is very, very strong.
I think it looks more than my Jackal Ghost.
Yeah, out of the box, it's very strong. Once you get some shine on it, it gets a lot more controllable. But I need to get some more shine on it, and that's going to be one of the balls I think that's going to be in the league bag. 3.0 is very deceivingly strong for how smooth it is. and I didn't have a good night with it. 32-night league. Of course, I was throwing it like an idiot too, but it was just consistently stronger than I expected it to be. And I think again with the Brunswick stuff, I'm just going to have to, and that's also what Trevor said. He's like, you just have to give it more. You just have to get further inside. Typically, lefties want to stay a little straighter. He's like, with that stuff, it's like it just hooks so much and booms so much that you just have to move in. There's no staying there and trying to make it work. He's like, if you feel like you have to move in, just move in.
Yeah.
So
don't fight it, basically.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I was fighting. I spent the whole night fighting it, trying to play further left than I should have on Thursday. And even on Friday, I got in even a little bit further with the theorem, and it was just fighting getting it down the lane.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if I just would have moved in, because I filmed for all those, and where I was comfortable with on Chromium was further inside than where I was trying to play in League. And League is drier, and so it's like, well, why? It just stupidity. That's really what it is. But I'm used to just kind of flopping the summit down third arrow and forgetting about it. And so I just need to practice a little bit more with the stuff, but I really do like the covers read the lane well. Good. And that's what I've told people is that, I really like the summit specifically because it doesn't act like a storm ball.
Yep.
It does read the lane more like a Brunswick ball. And because it's just earlier and stronger, and now it's a little blendier. And so that's just a magic ball for me, really.
John Lander. Still waiting to see if Luke thinks Motive Venom Shock deflects more than a radical ball.
Yeah. Oh my God. The first if they send me a radical ball, I'm going to do the fill. I'm going to do the fill.
You have to.
The Venom Shock has more deflection.
You've got to.
Easy. That's the pattern.
Isn't he the one that voices over the throw bot too?
Yeah.
That stupid throw bot.
Yeah. Keanu Revs is the high-powered two-hander.
Nothing against the radical brain themselves. I just hate that throw bot thing.
Yeah, I do need to. I've
cool.
got my Venom Shock staring at me up there.
I do see it right there. Yeah.
I was actually, I do need to put holes in that because everybody wanted to see it against the Scorpion Low Flare.
Is that a Covert Revolt?
Yes, that's Covert Revolt.
That's a daddy right there.
Yeah, I've got all kinds of fun stuff. And that's the thing is I was expecting to put holes in a Venom Shock and a Covert and then a Taboo the original Taboo that I've got. But a couple days, I'm not in any rush because again, the summit's just, I've been averaging almost 240 with the summit for like the last 3 months. And so I thought that I've got this stuff and I'm probably going to drill some outside stuff. But then a couple days later, Brunswick reached out and said, hey, what do you want? And I'm like, okay. So I put that stuff on the back burner.
Venom Shock, though. I mean, you got two daddies sitting right next to each other.
Yeah, that's an original Covert Revolt.
Oh, that's
not the remake.
That ball's worth some money.
OG.
That boy's worth some money.
Yeah.
All you need is a Jackal Ghost right next to it. And you just got.
Well, see, that's the thing is Riley had that. I got the Revolt from Riley, and was like, well, I want to drill it, but it's like I can't. It's a Covert. It's an original Covert Revolt. I can't put holes in it. And so he's like, okay, well, you just so we gave him a few balls and in trade for that. So I got that, and then I sent Keith Austin had the Taboo.
You've had that one a while though.
Mm-hmm.
That was a gift that just
that was a collector ball. That was one that I hadn't. I don't even think that I had thought about leaving Storm yet. When I've had that one for a year and a half, 2 years.
No, I don't think you did.
Whatever.
You got that before we started the show.
I'm gonna say, yeah. I heard he had it, and I'm like, well, I just have to have that one because that was one of my favorite balls.
I think we were doing the Rise and Grinds back then.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when you got it.
Yeah, and that was my before the promotion came along. The Taboo, and the Taboo is still my second favorite ball of all time.
That's pretty sick. You got an OG Cobra Revolt sitting up there.
We should trade some more balls. Also, yes, the Carry the 10. My wife has started kind of a shorts channel. And so Carry the 10 is Angel's kind of fun channel, if you guys want to follow that.
Like and subscribe.
Mm-hmm. Oops.
What are you trying to pull up here?
No, I clicked on the wrong one.
Okay.
I was trying to click off the comment and.
Oh, it's been good to be back.
When you put holes in the low flare Scorpion, I already got a review up for that one. The Purple Hammer Reactive has so much weaker of a core.
To be honest with you, I'm not drilling a new blue because I have a Purple Hammer Reactive. With my rev rate, it's just not going to do much different. And I have a desert tank.
Yeah, it's a little. The new blue is a little different.
Yeah.
But I did film for all three of them. I filmed for the new blue and the purple and the black. I like the black the best out of all of them. Actually, I talked to Keeler about that. I talked to Trevor about that on Saturday too, and he's like, yeah, it's just the purple sometimes is a little too much across the board, and the new blue is a little too reactive, ballish.
Yeah, it is.
And the black is one that you can it's the old school, it just rolls. It just rolls and continues and picks up and rolls and rolls and rolls. And it's one that you can stay on top of the shot with. And so I actually like the black the best out of the three of them. And that's interesting.
Considering it's one of the 78 hard balls.
Yeah, because it's the 78 hardness ball. And it's kind of like, yeah, that one's actually the best one of the three. And then thinking about, how famous the Purple Hammer is. It's like, it's good, but it's a little too early and wants to shape just a little bit too much. That black, I mean, if I get on some stuff at Aaron's with that and you can just walk it down the side and some other stuff, it might even be great in Tulsa, believe it or not, because I was just pointing that Tour Dynamics.
I wouldn't change a damn thing that you did out there.
Yeah.
Especially since we're bowling everything in the same building.
Yeah.
Don't move.
The Tour Dynamics is just going to sit there. It's going to be like, I had another ball, the Parallax, because I had the Parallax went to Lunar every single year for KCO. We're not in Lunar anymore. And so that, I have to find, that's a little different. But yeah, the Parallax, I would throw it once a year and it would be singles and doubles at Lunar, KCO. Yeah. And the Tour Dynamics is going to be the same thing. I'm going to take it to Tulsa. That's the only day it's going to get thrown 9 games a year in Tulsa. And then it's going to go back on the rack and sit there.
If you throw something else other than the Tour Dynamics when we go down there, I'm going to have to look at everybody and say, excuse my friend. He's a little slow.
Yeah.
He's a little slow. But now it's awesome, too, because in Tulsa, we're now 4-man teams instead of 5. So
yeah,
that's not that it matters much on the left side, but I like it that we're in the same building, though.
Oh.
Find some here?
I got a big-ass coupon to use from Bowler's Mart, thinking about either the Phase EX or Marvel Max Purple. They both have the NRG2 Pearl cover. Phase EX, there's also Bruce sent me a couple texts. There's also a Zen Mudra that's on sale for like $145 or something. So
Mudra?
This is Zen Mudra.
Okay, interesting name.
That's another thing I'm going to talk to Cliffy and probably start doing some, because they've got a bunch of really good sales on overseas stuff on Bowler's Mart right now. That's like they're all 100. Like the Phase EX is $150. I think the Marvel Max Purple is $150. The Zen Mudra is $145. And so I think that's going to be, he's going to send me emails and I'm going to make a video every week about here's the Bowler's Mart, deals of the week or whatever.
They always run some good specials on overseas stuff. I do know that.
Mm-hmm. It's everything that comes with being on staff, the reason why you decided not to do it anymore. I'm not going to sign another staff contract unless I'm actually like getting paid a salary, a significant salary. It's just not going to happen.
I don't miss it.
Yeah, it just it's
a lot of headache.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that the problem is, and I'm going to talk about this on the next Angel Reference, the Sodcast. The next one I'm going to do is called Staph Infection.
I've actually had staph infection.
Yeah.
That was awful.
Yeah.
It was awful.
But this is the thing, is that the companies, is that they have so many more people that want to be on staff than they have a need for, that they just don't have to really accommodate people.
No, they don't.
And so they don't. And I don't blame them for it all, because if you have people just beating down the door, it's just like they're talking about the minimum wage thing or whatever. It's like, if you have people that continue to work at McDonald's and accept $7.25 an hour, they're never going to pay anything higher. But all of a sudden, after COVID, when people were getting paid like $15 an hour to stay home, all of a sudden, Walmart, McDonald's, whatever else, they're paying like 15 to 20 bucks an hour now.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they can pay it, but if people continue to accept a lower wage, why would they not? It's like, well, we're offering you $7.25 an hour. Okay, I'll take it. It's like, well, why would they just randomly? It's like, well, actually, we're just going to give you 15.
Yeah.
We're going to give you 15. Why would they do that? If people are signing, and that's the other thing, is that people are so desperate to be on staff that they'll do anything. They'll spend all their free time, all their free money, whatever else, promoting somebody else's product. And if they're willing to do it for nothing but like mediocre discounts in return, what are the companies going to say? Well, that doesn't really feel right. I mean, we're going to give you extra. It's like, that's not going to happen. That's not how business works. That's just stupid. So they have, as long as people are just tripping all over themselves to be staffers, the companies don't really have to offer them anything. So this is not the fault of companies at all. This is just a bunch of deep-throating morons.
I did have a decent motive deal, though. It was just a lot of work.
Yeah.
I actually got paid.
I had a decent storm deal.
I got paid.
I mean, and that's the thing, is it just the time and some of the rules and restrictions are what got to me, but they took really good care of me when it came to the.
Oh, no, they did.
They took amazing care of me when it came to the product, but that's where it kind of stopped. Was it product, and I needed time and actual cash.
I just got tired of visiting the pro shops and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do that anymore. I mean, it was a great deal when I ran demos and stuff like that, especially the one couple that we ran in Omaha and all that.
Man, the Black Hammer at Sunshine. Black Hammer at Sunshine. That might be ridiculous.
Interesting. I did the
town is
that way.
How close are the 78 U?
I don't think they're close at all.
They're not remotely close. The Black Pearl doesn't have the core strength because the IQ, and that's the thing that a lot of the Storm Pros have said is like, if you have to keep that ball in front of you. It's good if you're like pointing it down the side, and so like at the Players in Wichita, and Wichita is a freaking urethane house anyway.
That place hooks in general.
Pointing it down the side is fine. If you have to give it any room at all, it's just not the ball. The Black Hammer is really good pointing it down the side, but you don't have as much room as a Purple Hammer because it just doesn't hook that much. But Packy had an awful good look with the Black on the league show.
I think he threw the whole thing. The Players, I think he threw that's all he threw is the Black Hammer.
Yeah, and the guys throwing the 78 on the league show, it looked terrible for all of them. And I think unless you have the Players look in a house that likes urethane, pointing it straight down the side, it's going to suck. The Black Hammer is a different story.
Your 78U is actually that's your spare ball, isn't it?
Yeah, spare ball.
Every time I hear Black Hammer, I think of the movie Ride Along with Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Black Hammer. Ying, ying. Sorry. That's his gamer tag in the movie.
I think that, what was Major League 2? Was it like Black Thunder, White Lightning, or Black Hammer, White Lightning, or something with Jesse Ventura?
That's Kevin Hart's gamer tag, though, in that movie. He plays some Grand Theft Auto type game. Mm-hmm. It's Black Hammer. So that's all I think of. Yeah. 70D Black Hammer feels kind of in between Hopkinsville Purple and Hopkinsville Black. Definitely has much Mexico Purple. Yeah. Yeah, it's a tamer version overall, which is a good thing, actually.
But yeah, I really do like the Black Hammer. It's really good. So when I use urethane, it's probably going to be that
Swiss.
Most of it. Yeah, because that's going to be just walking it right down.
That's a perfect center for it.
Walking it right down 5 board. Now that we can bowl Swiss again.
Thank goodness.
7 months away.
I know, right? We are good to go for that, right? We just got we were.
Yeah. I already talked to them. They just moved the registration or the reservation to this year.
Cool. All right.
So we're all good.
Sweet. That's gonna be fun. It's gonna feel like we haven't done it.
Yep. We got Southwest here in
As
a
long
couple
as
weeks.
Yep. As long as it's not a long pattern, it says.
Yeah.
They've used the same pattern the last 2 years. It wouldn't shock me if they do it again.
It is I did like that pattern when we bowled on it the previous year, and then they used it again. And I think kind of the problem is that the same things are going to happen because the same teams keep showing up. If they put the same pattern down, the same people are going to keep having success. But the same people keep having success every year, no matter what.
Well, if obviously we only bowled on for 1 year because we
team bang on thing.
Our friend wouldn't allow us to bowl that event. So
Rat bastard.
so he, I think they did a good job at least the first year of getting the lefties out of urethane as much as they were in bang on thing because if I remember right, they didn't crush it.
Yeah.
So they might have last year. I don't know.
They actually a couple of years ago, I think they shot 490 out of the gate, 480 or 490. That's Kevin and AJ.
They're right.
Kevin Williams, AJ Rice, and
Michael Hallman.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they fell off later, didn't they?
Well, no, they shot 490 and then they went like 700. They went like 490, 550, and then they figured it out and then ended up in the top 5 or the top 3 or something like that.
I don't think you'll see as many short patterns anymore out there because of the urethane issue for the lefties.
Probably.
But
I think you'll see some 42s to 44s. But we'll see.
42s to 44s. That's not terrible. I mean, some of those patterns you can even the right side you can still throw urethane on some of them. But
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's right. They did have 490 out of the gate. I do remember that now. Because everybody goes, "What just happened?"
Because they were in like last place. They were one of the lowest teams.
What just happened? It's such a fun tournament. It's going to be fun to go back and do it again. No, I've actually got Springfield here in a few weeks, and then I go to Southwest. So I have back-to-back weekends where I go on a cruise, and then I think we have a show that Monday that I go to Springfield. That's our next one, and then I go to Springfield, and then the following weekend that's when I have Southwest.
Okay.
And then I have to go back to Wichita again the following weekend because Raylan's got a gymnastics event. So I'm like on the road every weekend for like a month.
Yeah, we're actually going. So we're going to do Southwest weekend, and then we're headed to Pennsylvania.
You guys going out there to see the kids?
Yeah, we're gonna go. Well, we're gonna go see the kids for a couple days, and then Cam Ditzler from Discord's getting married.
Oh, cool!
The following weekend after Southwest, and so it was a good excuse to. Okay, so we got we got a friend that's in Columbus, Ohio, which is on the way, and then we've got several people. Missed Move is in the general area too, and then Cam's getting married, and then the kids are in Williamsport. So we're going to stop by and see them. So,
reminder: McPherson Regional is the weekend before we bowl Southwest too, so that's the weekend I'm in Springfield.
Okay, I thought the McPherson Regional was the weekend after Southwest, but because I thought that we couldn't make that because that was.
I'm actually thinking about bowling the one in Overland Park. Thinking about it. Last one we didn't get to go to because Dylan was on his bachelor party.
No, yeah.
So I missed a lot of bowling things because of wedding shenanigans.
Yeah, I think they got to win a spot to the McPherson Regional. I think we're gonna go watch that. James is gonna bowl that.
I did see that.
That's in a couple of weekends, week and a half.
That's it's McPherson, the Southwest, then wedding.
Okay.
So it's the when you guys, I'll be in. That's the weekend I go to Springfield. So I'll be in Springfield that weekend. That was the weekend to win a spot there.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be in McPherson then, I think, a couple.
And then get home, do the thing. Because I leave February 22nd for a cruise, and I won't be back until, I think we come back March 3rd. And March 4th, I have the day off. So we'll still do our show, obviously, that night. So, Yep. Works for me. What do we got here? How much time we got left? I don't see a clock. We still got, 25 minutes or so?
25 minutes.
Get them questions in here. If you got some. It's fun to be back. Felt like we haven't done this in a long time.
It has been a long time. It's been about a month and a half.
Just
like the last one we had was middle of December.
And you had to actually do it from the office upstairs, and I was at home because you had the set all torn.
Yeah, we tore everything up down here.
It's all good.
But yeah, it looks good now.
It looks fantastic. I know we've talked about this, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we're back on the schedule for the shows. So it'll be every 2 weeks on Monday at 6 p.m. Central. Taking a cruise like on a boat.
Yes, on a boat. Getting back on schedule for shows. Yep.
Such a pretty boat. Ship.
Is that the one you just answered? The getting back on schedule for shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taking a cruise like on a boat. Yeah. We're going on a boat. Royal Caribbean, Harmony of the Seas. We're going to Honduras and 2 different spots in Mexico. I know one of them's Cozumel. I don't remember where the other one was.
We would go on a cruise if I could get Angel on an airplane.
We're driving. We're driving to Galveston, actually.
And that's probably what we'd have to do is we'd have to drive down there. Now, she wants to take an Alaskan cruise.
Oh, that would be amazing.
There's no way that we...
Amanda's parents did one.
Yeah.
They did one. And they didn't bring coats because they didn't think anything of it. And they're like, it's really cold out here.
Yeah.
And I looked at Amanda and I'm like, are you freaking serious?
Alaska.
I'm like,
Yeah.
we had to go buy coats.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. No way.
You've had extra gloves this whole
All
time.
right.
Yeah.
I'm
We're in
gonna,
the Rockies.
I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. Your hands are freezing.
Haley, your hands are freezing. Oh, I love that movie. I could go watch that like as soon as I get home, actually. I'm Bowling Green Ozarks March 3rd and 4th. I will be down there, John.
Oh. Yeah.
On Lander, I will be there. Actually, no, I'm sorry. March 3rd and 4th is the weekend before I go. Sorry. I get home the 3rd.
Yeah.
So we're
3rd
the
and 4th.
8th, was it 7th and 8th or 8th and 9th, something like that?
Mm-hmm.
So, lies. I lied to you.
So Sunshine is you want controllable stuff. It's not necessarily dry. I think I threw a ruby the whole time and shot 6. Like
You
the
did.
second or third, I shot like 620. It was like 620, 630, something like that. I made money in brackets, but that's all it takes to make money in brackets down there. But I threw a ruby the whole time. You want controllable stuff because it's just Sunshine's always hard for whatever reason. And then
You threw the ruby in both places.
I threw it at both places, but we just bowled like ass at Enterprise.
Yes, we did.
Terrible.
Yeah, it was not good.
It was just not good. The shots aren't terribly difficult. Sunshine just always plays rough, and nobody scores there. And so I think I doubled or tripled my money
Oh, I made money
in team
Yeah.
with like 620 or 630.
That's about what I had in the team was 620, 630.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just want controllable stuff, and I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be fine because it kind of favors the way that you throw the ball anyway. So I think you'll be fine.
I threw a Black Widow 2.0 hybrid up the ditch all day. Isn't that what I did in team? That's what. Yeah, it was the 2.0 hybrid I threw up the ditch.
Yeah, we need the bottle top catcher thing
What's
back. That's this. Yeah,
Mhm.
there's a magnet that's right there. It's just since we've got the fancy Spectre bottle opener thing.
Nice keys. The yours?
Yeah.
Both of them? God, there's so many one-liners in that movie.
For God's sake, just give me the damn number.
I was just shaving.
No, I was just cleaning my teeth.
Oh,
You're
man.
not using the toilet; it's broken. No.
I can hear the music in my head now.
Yeah.
Doom. Oh, this show's going off the rails. This show stinks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's nasty.
Let's see. We have a.
We doing one more?
Yeah. Let me go find a bottle. I'll
Okay.
find a bottle so that we can use the bottle opener thing.
You don't have any bottles in here? I
No.
thought you did earlier. Oh, no, that was that
Yeah.
nasty thing. Do not grab that crap. No, sirree. Oh, gosh. I'm telling you guys, that if you weren't here early in the show, that stuff that he fed me there was the nastiest thing ever. It doesn't say it has vinegar in it, but I swear that stuff had vinegar in it. And I don't know how he drinks it because he don't like pickles. Sadly, I've been channeling James and Riley lately, racing for fourth arrow since I bull on wood. Yeah, I can see that. Bowling on wood. I haven't bowled on wood in a long time. I grew up bowling on wood lanes. I actually enjoyed it. It's definitely a different animal, that's for sure.
All right.
Oh, that's okay.
Sam Adams Take a Day IPA.
And there it is.
How?
I love how it catches it like that. It's just so forceful.
Yeah. Kelly Kapowski.
No. Do you love me? No, but that's a real nice ski mask. Oh, are you watching this right now, or are you actually just actually remembering this? Because that's pretty dang impressive. Because that's the scene where he lights his fart, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's right. Hey, where he does the. Did you ever watch the second one?
Yeah.
From memory, that's impressive. Oh, you said you did watch the second one?
Yeah.
Where with Mama June in it or whatever? I bet he doesn't pee sitting down.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Did we miss comments in here? I've actually been sliding in the left gutter sometime in game 2 for the last few weeks. Holy crap. That's
kind of.
You said they're all wood.
chunky.
This one?
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's stiff.
Did you show him this one?
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like, okay, I'm not used to that camera being so far away.
Yeah. Yep. We had so much crap to put in the background that had to zoom the camera out.
Got to get all the fancy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's still awesome how that light pops behind us.
Yep.
Because even the storm light didn't look that good.
No, well, and there was a glare off stuff, and so this just looks better. And that was part of going with the darker in the background, so that it would kind of the pick up some of the light and not like reflect stuff. And then this webcam is really good.
This webcam is actually the same camera that I use at work for badge photos.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it 100% is really good.
Yeah, it's a great camera.
I know I need to go buy one for my house and use it at home myself.
Yeah.
I needs to.
And this was actually the PBR sign we got from when Westridge redid the bar.
Yeah.
They took a bunch of stuff out, and so they said, "Hey, yeah,
I'll take it."
look at this stuff.
You've had that one for a while, though, haven't you?
Yeah. We actually had it on the
beer frame?
on the beer frame set.
Yeah.
Lockwood way back in the day.
That was upstairs, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the webcam sucked, or the camera I was using sucked, and so we could never turn it on. This is the first time I've actually been able to have it in the background and have it on.
It looks great.
But yeah, it's freaking sweet.
Got the Odin's One IPA sign in there.
Yeah.
The Panda covered light outlet cover.
Mm-hmm.
The bottle catcher signs. And
You
of
got
course,
Barney in the background.
Yeah,
I
little
sent something to.
Stu.
I sent something to Stu, and I said, "Hey, look what I dug up." I don't know if he's replied yet or not.
He did. I saw him pop up over there.
No.
He said pretty sweet, I think is what he
Oh,
said.
yeah.
Pretty sweet. Let's see here. Average 236.55 last week. Hoping to carry on to next week. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Go for it. Predictions. Who y'all got for the Illinois Classic? Good question. It's good. It's a little bit of a shorter pattern, so it's going to be obviously something that's really good with urethane, I would think.
Yeah, the scores were high in the PTQ.
On a similar type pattern.
Yeah, I would say keep an eye on Zach Wilkins.
Yeah.
He's going to be on a PBA league team next year.
Should have been this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, he should have been, but you know, if they want to make him earn it, he's gonna earn it.
I like guys like Packy this week. I like Zach actually would be a good one. He's been bowling really well.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously keep an eye on Belmo, as always. EJ Tackett's probably going to look pretty good as normal.
Yeah, Simo's just hard to.
There's one I'm thinking of, and I'm trying to remember what brand he's with. Oh, it's going to frustrate me because what's going to happen is I'm going to remember as soon as I get off here. This might be a week though that old Bradley Jean might look pretty good. He definitely threw it a lot more confidence today, and I think the note or the advice. Thank you. That's what we're looking for. The advice that Stu gave Brad was actually freaking brilliant.
Dumb Brad was a better bowler.
He's right.
Yeah.
And he threw it today with a lot more confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So I those kind of patterns like that, but Brad usually bowls pretty good. I mean, he averaged 236.
Yeah, it was over 230, and they only took 9 out of the PTQ.
God, he had to sneak in, but
the Dio Bernard average almost 250.
Yeah.
So the left is in play,
Yep.
I would say. But Dio's weird. He's just weird.
He just kind of flicks it.
Yeah, he's one of those that he just kind of slow rolls it, but he's just so good and he scores on everything. I don't get it watching him, but I think it's one of those Buttriff things. You watch Buttriff and it's like, oh God. And then the pins just keep falling down. It's like, okay, I'm not I'm just not gonna say anything. Bernard Dio is kind of the same way. It's just like I don't understand it watching it, but he just keeps acing shots and the pins keep falling down. It's kind of like, okay.
Speaking of Buttriff,
I'm not going to talk.
That's one that's struggling.
Yeah, he's kind of not been.
I mean, so is Frankie.
Yeah, Frankie's had a really bad start to the year.
Brad really needs a week this week because he's 0 for 2 so far. I mean, okay, he was able to be in the field for the U.S. Open. He didn't bowl terrible at the U.S. Open, but he needs a week. Him getting into the main field is big. He's got to find a way to get some points.
That's the thing. It's just sad that he's in the PTQs.
I think they're going to top. I'm pretty sure that the PBA next year is the exempt field is going to like top 24 and not what the number they're at now, which makes it even harder. So I don't know.
But yeah, I think top 5 power ranking. Rash, Prather, and AJ Johnson will have a good week being basically at home. Top 5 power rankings for the week. Sleeper pick. Who do you think will be a disappointment?
Sleeper pick Zach Wilkins.
Yeah, Zach's definitely. We're on the Zach train.
Source on top 24. First I heard that number, John. I swore. Well, Brad's told me something about it. First of all, he mentioned something about it that the PBA was looking to do that in a couple of years, and he said it to me before this last season. He never said it was a concrete thing. They brought it up. I swore they brought it up during the PTQ today at one point on the Tom Hess, I think, was talking about it. I could be wrong, but I know Brad said something at one point. I'll have to find out and clarify and get back with you on that. But I'm pretty sure he said they talked about it at one point. They're looking to make the PTQs bigger, which is just plain silly in my opinion. And he knew that because he was the head of the players committee at the time.
Yeah.
But I'll shoot him a text and find out. All right, Seabass and Felds offered to pick up their check.
They're very nice. Seabass said that. Well, if that guy sitting at the table over there is Seabass.
That's what Hess said on Bowl TV last week. What did he say on Bowl TV last week? I'm sorry.
They tricked some suckers into picking up his tab and then got away with it scot-free. See in the movie, they caught up to him a half mile down the road and slit his throat. It was a good one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember that part now. That was right after that whole thing.
Pull over. No, it's a cardigan, but thanks for noticing.
You shut your mouth if you know what's good for you.
Give me that booze, you pumpkin pie haircutted freak. Tic Tac, sir. So get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here.
Maybe that's what he said on the deal. I'll have to ask Brad again. I swore he said something about they're really wanting to make that number smaller and smaller. But it was a couple years ago he said that to me. And he said he didn't know when it was going to be. But 42 is probably right. I'm probably just stupid and didn't pay attention.
24, 42. Same difference.
Same difference. 24, 42, same number, just flip backwards.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Technically, it is the same number, just flip backwards. Hey, who's counting?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we got about 10 minutes left.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
Exactly. Exactly. But no, I do. I like sleeper pick this week. I do like Zach, and that's not just being biased. The guy's bowling really good. He's pretty solid with urethane if he needs to throw urethane, and he's good with reactive too. But I don't know. Disappointment of the week. What was the question again?
Top 5 sleepers, I think.
There it is. Top 5 power ranking for this week. Sleeper pick. Who do you think will be a disappointment?
Sleeper pick is definitely Zach, but Boog's
another one
Boog's
that's
in there too. He's in Zach Wilkins territory.
God,
just the way that he throws the ball.
I mean, he was one spot off of making the U.S. Open show. I like Boog a lot. I might even like Boog a little more than I like Zach on this one, and I think Zach's going to be pretty good.
I would say top 5 power rankings based on how Dio did in the PTQ. I think you got to put Packy on there. Simo just has to be on there. Kyle Troop's bowling ridiculous. Bill O'Neill has made the first 2 shows of the year,
and they're both majors.
Yeah.
So Bill O'Neill's got to be up there. Disappointment. It's kind of hard to say disappointment without watching a bowl. I mean, like we were just talking about, Buttriff hasn't been very good. Frankie has not been very good. I don't know.
It would be somebody bigger that you would. Now, EJ, the last year went like win, almost last, win, almost last, win. And so, I don't know, it might be a EJ on shorter patterns. I'm not sure.
The last shorter pattern he bowled on was the players. He bowled well at the players.
Mm-hmm.
Well, bowled well at the players. He didn't bowl that great a match play, if I don't remember right. It's been a couple weeks now. I don't remember, but
I don't know.
I was there. Zach knocked him off when I was there, and then I left.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was day 1 of match play.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's hard to disappoint. I can see that's a tough one. It really is tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say without really just. I mean, Jesper hasn't been crazy either right now, but I could see Jesper having a week.
Yeah.
I could. I don't know. It's hard to say a disappointment without watching a little bit of it.
Thomas Larson.
He hurt his finger.
Yeah.
Dude, did you see his fingers?
Yeah, he dropped some bowling balls on him, or just went to pick up a ball and had something else smack him, and he actually broke the tip of his middle finger, I believe.
And he tried to bowl with another finger too. I was like, that's it. I noticed it.
He took the grip out and tried to at least just get through the 8 games or whatever to just see if his finger, and he had to withdraw the second day or something like that. And so, yeah, he actually, and then he got an x-ray, and so he actually broke.
So he's out this weekend.
He's out for like a month and a half.
I think Kyle's going to bowl this week. He was bowling the elite league stuff, but I didn't know if
he was at the league stuff, and I'm not sure. But yeah, Kyle Sherman, I think, might actually bowl. He was there to support the team at the league thing, but he was not going to bowl. I think he's actually back to bowling fairly soon, though.
Oh, he bowled the elite league. He bowled today. He bowled tonight. Kyle did. Brad and Kyle had a video about it too. So he bowled the Saturday on the show. Bill bowled yesterday. Brad and Miller are going to win it coming out of the PTQ. Let's go. I'll party if that happens. Yeah. We'll have a party. Brad actually wants to come on the show. Problem is with us having our break, they're on the tour now. So we're going to try and catch them on a week that they're not on the tour.
Yeah, and Mondays are easier time, but we still need to get Rhino on the show.
Yeah, we need to get that.
And then
Mondays we probably could get him because they just have practice session on Mondays. We could probably get him in the might get him and Kyle both.
Well, and I think that Brad's going to get a lot of commissioner exemptions this year because he was in the number last year and he's full time, and so I think oh, look out, $10.
Hey. Thanks, man.
Enjoy the show, and I love that you guys drink some beers. Luke, could you explain why you're no longer SPI exclusive? I had so if you go back and watch the Sobcast first one, if you go into live streams,
it's actually just in the description just now, or not in the description, in the comments.
So. I went into all kinds of detail, but the short answer was that there was a lot of restrictions that I had, and that was costing me an awful lot of time. I think one of the biggest things is that when they would announce new balls coming out, I used to do a preview video because every single time they announced something, people would say, okay, well, they got new balls coming out. And I would get all kinds of questions from all kinds of people. And so I started making preview videos. And they said, well, we don't want to start promoting stuff until like 3 weeks before release date. So typically they announce stuff 5 weeks before release date. Then all the staffers can start putting videos up and original content and whatever else 3 weeks before release date. But the 2 weeks from when they announced something before I could put videos up were just miserable because I would have the same 15-minute conversation with 100 different people.
Yeah.
Because they would, okay, well, what's the story on these new balls coming out? Where are they going to fit in my bag? What are they similar to? Blah, blah, blah. And so it was just costing me a ridiculous amount of time. Plus, the preview videos were really popular too. And so they got me a lot of views. It's got me a lot of traffic, a lot of extra subscribers, a lot of extra ad revenue, and whatever else. And I did the numbers several times. And it's like I was even, offsetting it with all the equipment that they were sending me and all the incentives that I could get for making videos. It was just laughable. It was just a laughable amount different that if I just would make it. So, and looking at it, because if I left staff, obviously they're not going to send me bowling balls anymore. So I wouldn't have those balls to make the videos with. But if I just traded off, if I would make, there was a lot of times where I had preview videos that did better than the review videos. And the preview videos I can make in a couple hours sitting upstairs.
Yeah.
I don't have to, there's no materials that go into drilling. I don't have to drive to the bowling alley. I don't have to film anything. I have to pay for lineage, don't have to pay for anything. And that was going to be a complete break even.
Yeah.
So even if I didn't have bowling balls to make videos with anymore, preview videos were infinitely easier to make, infinitely cheaper to make, infinitely time saving to make. And so it was just on paper, there was just absolutely zero reason to stay on staff. Plus the rules were really restrictive and, they just had people beating down their door to be on staff. And so they didn't really have to go out of their way to do any favors for anybody on staff. And so it was just the rules and the time more than anything.
And now you pretty much just got to be a pro shop guy to
So,
get on anywhere.
Yeah.
At least storming wise anyway.
So, yeah, but there. If you want the full breakdown of everything, then James put it in the chat. So I talked about it in great detail.
You went a couple hours, didn't you?
Yeah, 3.5.
On our side set over here. Well, his side set.
Yeah, it's over there somewhere.
It's over.
I have to put that back together now.
Yeah, you do need to do that. Side set, new set.
Mm-hmm.
I like it how you've made so much more room for activities.
Yeah. All right. Last couple questions. We're about to get off the air here and get out of here.
Well, I've got to get out of here. Hopefully you're not leaving.
Nope. Angel's up there making some
Supper.
chow right now. So we will finish off the...
I don't know if we have any more questions here. You can go ahead and swallow them down. I'll let you have it.
Yeah.
Since I've got to drive. Bill would not make my top 5 power rankings for qualifying last week with lucking into the cut, but what he did after that would make him. Yeah, I agree with that, John. If you're still with us,
That was kind of funny because he didn't do great, or he just barely got into the cut.
Yep.
And then when he got to the match play, he just went nuts. Absolutely, he was one of the last. He was like 22nd or 23rd going into the top 24, and then he just went berserk.
Yes. And before you guys leave, make sure you smash that like button. Jonathan Tiffany's out here just giving us more great Dumb and Dumber quotes.
Although slow and dangerous behind the wheel, senior citizens can still serve a purpose. Don't you go dying on me. I got robbed by a sweet old lady
on a motorized cart. I didn't see it coming. Oh, one of the greatest movies of all time. Don't at me. Sorry. In brief terms, how should I attack a boardwalk 35 feet as two-handed lefty? Urethane.
We got no jobs. We got no food. Our pets' heads are falling off.
You didn't pay the gas bill?
Yeah. How the hell did they know that I got gas?
Did you want to answer that?
These guys are professionals.
Gas Eddie question before we sign off here?
Yeah, I mean, just urethane.
Yeah.
Urethane. I mean, it just, there's no way around it.
No.
As a lefty on anything shorter than 40 feet, urethane. One-handed, two-handed, urethane.
Urethane. Yep. Hopefully you've got urethane, guys. That would, step 1, throw urethane. Step 2, keep throwing urethane. Step 3, throw more thing. Exactly.
Yeah.
But you can only throw one thing at a time. Just so you know. Inside tip.
Mhm.
Sorry, that was stupid. And with that, we can sign off here.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks for the donations.
Yes, thank you everybody for the super chats. I was going to look this up here real quick on
2 weeks from today, the 19th.
Yes.
We will be back on the 19th.
President's Day.
Yeah, we'll have something to talk about because they have a win-a-spot tournament on the 18th in McPherson for a regional that's coming up. McPherson's a couple hours away. And we like to have any kind of excuse to get down there and eat the onion rings at 5 Loaves. I think it's 5 Loaves.
That sounds right. I think that's the name you told me.
I think it's 5 Loaves.
You got to answer James' question.
McPherson has
How much
synthetic
wood
lanes now.
woodchuck wood?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes it boring now. That's not wood anymore.
Yeah, they used to have a lot of character, but the last time they had a regional there, we went and watched, and it was miserable.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was wild because Jake Peters and Andres Villanueva that's down there
Yeah.
with Billy Hutch.
Yeah.
He ended up beating Jake Peters.
Yeah.
For that. That was the one where Dylan's hand gave up. Dylan was making a run at winning himself.
Oh, yes.
And then something happened
Split
with
his finger, thumb. or
yeah,
something.
yeah. Something happened and he went like 150, 150, 150 and fell out of the cut for
I
the
thought
step ladder.
I thought he was going to win his 4th regional title. That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
But that was just crazy because a 180 was you were gaining ground.
That's sick. Those are fun though.
But yeah, they have
Grind
synthetic
things.
lanes there now, and McPherson James was down there last Saturday, practicing for the regional coming up, and they have a couple win-a-spot tournaments coming up. We're going to go down and watch the next one. So, thanks for skipping my question.
It was how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if woodchuck could chuck wood? Yeah. The real question is,
Yeah,
well, there's not really a
No.
question. I don't know.
the kid has to catch some of the live. Hope all's good. Yep,
Oh,
we'll see you in a month.
sweet. We were actually talking about it earlier.
Yeah, month and a half. Yep, we were actually talking about the kiddos. And this is hilarious that my daughter's last name is Chubb now since she weighs 95 pounds soaking wet.
I just about spit that water out all over my freaking computer.
Chubb with 2
Oh.
B's. And she's 5'1" or 5'2", 95 pounds.
I was not ready for that.
She,
All right, guys. Time to go home.
yeah.
Got a sick little one at home. Go spend some time with her for a little bit. Go to bed, go to work. Thanks
Yeah.
everybody for interacting in the chat.
Yep. Thanks for the donations.
Yep.
Wife's got some food ready. We've got a nice new set. We'll see you. Chubb's Rip Carl Weathers. Yep.
Yep. It's all in the
He
hips.
was
all in the hips.
Grief Karga in Mandalorian too. I'm
Yes,
pretty
he
sure.
was. Yes, he was. It's all in the hips.
Yeah.
It's all in the
Alligator bit my damn hands off.
hips. You're going to get it, Bobby. I know it wasn't him, but I had to say that's my favorite part. All right. Let's do it.
So, yep.
2 weeks, guys.
Yep. Thanks everybody for hanging out. We will be back in 2 weeks. Same
Place, same time.
BDP channel, same BDP time. So 2/19, 6 p.m. We will be back, hopefully with some more things to talk about. The PBA schedule is long this year, so we will have several things to talk about. I like what they're doing with the league.
Yep, agreed.
We're seeing a lot more of that stuff, and hopefully we'll have some Zach Wilkins news to talk about.
Hope so, because that's both of our sleeper pick for the week. So
Yeah, and Packy. Let's see Packy keep going, and Brad made it into the main field, so good vibes.
good vibes, absolutely. Good
Bradley
vibes.
Miller's way.
If they have a good week, maybe we can get them real quick on the show for a brief time, even if it's just for 10 minutes. So
Yep, and we might have to send something to old Mr. Rhino, see if we can get him on the show
I'll get
next
on.
time. Plus Brady McDonough.
yeah, we'd like to get Brady on here. I know Rhino really wants to come on too. So,
Charles Hutcherson too from the Hype.
but you need to get the hype man in here.
Love to get
Yeah.
Hutch on here if he can make a Monday night work. Where'd you get the lane deck from? Background picture.
I think you're talking about that. Well, you don't like my stripper pole?
Yeah. Lane deck. I don't know. You'll have to let me know what you're talking about. I'm not following.
It's all good. So you can put it in the comments. I've got to go.
Google.
That's what Google's for.
Yeah. Actually, we got some. I did get some lane panels from Jayhawk.
There's one over there.
They have a lot of stuff. Yeah, there was half the panel that. God, I had to charge my Skillsoft 4 times to get the synthetic lane is hard.
Oh yeah, it's hard. I mean, it has to be.
Just to cut out what I have on my workbench up there, I had to charge my Skillsoft battery 4 times.
I have no doubt. No doubt at
Insane.
all.
So anyhow,
All right, peeps.
thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it, and we will see you in a couple weeks.